Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, dear students. How are you all? I'm Maheno teacher, and today we are going to continue the chapter Nutrition in Plants. Before moving forward, we'll do a quick recap of the previous lecture. We studied that there are two modes of nutrition in plants, which are phototrophic and heterotrophic nutrition. All the green plants follow autotrophic nutrition, which means they prepare their food by the process called photosynthesis. Now, in photosynthesis, the plants they take sunlight and trap it in chloroplast. They take carbon dioxide from atmosphere and water from the soil, and they prepare the food, that is glucose, and release oxygen in the environment. Today, we are going to study another mode of nutrition, that is heterotrophic nutrition. Now, if you remember, we studied that the heterotrophic organisms are the ones which are dependent on some other plants or animals for their food. The examples that we studied were panda, humans, chameleon, and mushroom. Now, the heterotrophic plants, which means there are some plants that do not have chlorophyll and they cannot synthesize their own food and are known as heterotrophic plants. Like humans and animals, they depend on other organisms for food. Now these heterotrophic plants, they are categorized into four types. First is parasitic nutrition. The other one is the plants which follow insectivorous mode of nutrition. The third type is saprophytic nutrition, and the last one is symbiotic nutrition. We'll study the details further. Parasitic nutrition. In parasitic mode of nutrition, the plants depend on other plants for their nourishment. Such dependent plants are called parasites, and the ones on which parasites depend are called hosts. A parasite plant climbs on the host plant from which they get all the food. The host does not get any benefit from the parasite. Some examples are Cuscuta, mistletoe, and Rafflesia. Can you see this diagram? Here, there is one plant. Let's say this is a neem tree. Okay. Now, can you see this yellow colored yellow colored rope like structures? Yes, these yellow colored rope like structures are nothing but parasitic plant called Cuscuta. Okay, this Cuscuta, it grows on the tree, and whatever food is made by the tree, this is a neem tree. So whatever food is made by neem tree, the Cuscuta will take up the nutrition from that tree. Because the Cuscuta does not have any chlorophyll, they cannot carry out photosynthesis, and they will take the nutrition from that tree. Another example is this. This is called mistletoe. Mistletoe is also a parasite, but if you can see here, they are green in color, which means they can carry out photosynthesis, and they are also dependent on the plant on which they grow. So they are partial parasite. Okay, now this one is Rafflesia. Rafflesia is the biggest flower, and it is a parasite, which means it will take nutrition from the surrounding plants. इसके आजू बाजू surrounding में जो plants होंगे, it will take nutrition from those surrounding. It does not carry out photosynthesis, it does not make any food on itself, but it takes nutrition from the surrounding plants. Another mode of nutrition that is followed by heterotrophic plants is insectivorous plants. Some plants are insectivorous plants. Now we know that the parasitic plants, they depend on plants, but here the insectivorous plants, they depend on some insects for their food. There are some plants which trap insects and digest them. Such plants are called insectivorous plants. These type of plants purely depend on other insects and small animals for their nutrition. They are green and carry out photosynthesis to obtain a part of food. Insectivorous plants grow in those soil which does not contain sufficient nitrogen mineral. The examples are Venus flytrap, pitcher plant, and sundew. Okay, Now see here, the Venus flytrap. It is open. As soon as the insect will go and sit inside, it will close itself and the insect will get trapped inside. वो अंदर trap हो जाएगा. And this Venus flytrap, it will secrete some digestive juice and digest that insect and then take up the nutrition from that insect. This one is pitcher plant. Now the pitcher, word pitcher, it means jug. The pitcher means jug. Because it has the shape of a jug, it is called pitcher plant. Now here this insect will go inside, and this is the lid of pitcher plant. That lid will get closed, वो बंद हो जाएगा and the insect will get trapped inside. It won't come out and then it will get digested by the pitcher plant. This one is sundew. Here there is some sticky material. कुछ अंदर sticky material होता है. As soon as this insect will go and sit on sundew, that materials, that insects will get stuck to these plants. Then it will die. It will get digested by the plant, and the plants will get nutrition from that insects. Got it? The third type of nutrition is saprophytic nutrition. Now we studied that in parasite and parasitic nutrition and in insectivorous plants, these plants, they are dependent on some living things. But in this case, the plants are dependent on dead or decaying matter. Mode of nutrition in which organisms or plants that obtain their nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter is called saprophytic mode. The plants which exhibit saprotrophic mode of nutrition are called saprotrophs. Saprotrophs secrete digestive juices onto dead and decaying matter to dissolve it and then absorb nutrients from it. The examples of saprotrophs are moles, which grow on bread, mushrooms, which grow on dead leaves and dead plants, yeasts, and some bacteria. These plants, the saprotrophs, they grow on dead matter. जो मरी हुई चीज़ होती है या जो सड़ी हुई चीज़ होती है उसके ऊपर saprotrophs ग्रो होते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ऑन ब्रेड यू माइट हैव सीन, जब वो ख़राब हो जाता है तो उसके ऊपर फंगस उग जाता है. वाइट कलर का कॉटन जैसा स्ट्रक्चर होता है, दैट ग्रोज. दैट white colored cotton structure is nothing but fungus, and it is a saprotroph. It follows saprophytic mode of nutrition. The last mode of nutrition is symbiotic nutrition. Now the word symbiotic, it is made up of two words. Sym means with and bio means life or living. When two organisms live together and benefit each other, they help each other, that kind of nutrition is called symbiotic nutrition. In this mode of nutrition, there is a close association between two plants of different categories. In such type of association, both plants get benefited. For example, certain fungi live in the roots of trees. In this case, tree provides nutrients to fungi and in return receives help from it to take up water and nutrients from the soil. Example, lichens, which are made up of two plants, they are fungus and algae. And the other example is rhizobium bacteria and leguminous plants. Now here see symbiotic nutrition. This is called lichen. They are made up of two plants, that is fungus and algae. Fungus के बारे में तो हमने पढ़ लिया. Algae is the green colored structures that you might have seen in the ponds, lakes में जो green color के plants जैसे उग जाते हैं, that are algae. Algae and fungus, they live together. अब इसमें algae green color का होता है तो they carry out photosynthesis, and the fungus, they provide water and minerals to the plant. Algae, they carry out photosynthesis, they give nutrients. Together they live, they get benefited from each other. Now in parasite, वहाँ पे भी दो प्लांट साथ में रह रहे हैं, बट विच वन आर गेटिंग बेनिफिट? ओनली पैरासाइट. जो होस्ट प्लांट्स है उसको कोई बेनिफिट नहीं मिल रहा है. इन सिम्बायोटिक रिलेशनशिप both the plants get benefited from each other. Understood? Now some of the lichens, they also grow on the barks of trees, and here दिस इज लेग्यूमिनस प्लांट्स, मतलब जो दाल होती है सारी, उसके रूट्स में देर आर सम बैक्टीरिया लिविंग which provide minerals to the plant, and in return they can live in the soil and they get nutrients from the soil. Next topic is how nutrients are replenished in the soil. Now we know that the plants continuously take nutrients from the soil in order to synthesize food. As a result of this, the amount of nutrients in the soil decreases. Nutrients in the soil are replenished by adding fertilizers and manures. Fertilizers and manures contain plant nutrients and minerals like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. अब हमको पता है that the plants they take up nutrients from the soil. तो एक टाइम आएगा जब सॉइल का सारा न्यूट्रिएंट खत्म हो जाएगा. तो what will the plant take? There won't be any nutrient. At that time we add fertilizers and manures in the soil. Another way in by which we can replenish the soil, we can put nutrients back in the soil is to grow leguminous crops. लेग्यूमिनस क्रॉप्स का मतलब हो जाए जो दाल जिसमें प्रोटीन ज़्यादा होता है वो वाले प्लांट्स. एग्जाम्पल ग्राम्स, pulses, peas, etc. The bacterium called rhizobium can take atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into soluble form, but rhizobium cannot make its own food. So it lives in the root of gram, peas, moong, beans, and other legumes and provides them with nitrogen. In return, the plants provide food and shelter to the bacteria. To see this diagram, this is the root of a leguminous plant. Here in the root, this green color structure that you can see is rhizobium bacteria. Okay, so here the plants, they will allow these rhizobium bacteria to live, to take the nutrients from the soil, and in return these rhizobium bacteria will take up the nitrogen from atmosphere. वो लोग जो atmosphere का nitrogen होंगे, they will take up and they will provide the nitrogen to these plants. These plants will take that nitrogen and make proteins. Okay, so this is how both rhizobium bacteria and the plant, the leguminous plant, they also follow symbiotic relationship, and that is how the nutrients are again replenished back in the soil. That was for today. We finished our chapter number 1. In the next lecture we'll start chapter number 2, that is nutrition in animals. I'll give you some homework. You have to write down in your notebook and learn the answers. Till then, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.